Isn't that? What is it trying to do? Where is this place? Don't lie to me, don't lie to me. We're sinking into the sea. The whole world is sinking. I saw it with my own eyes. Even if it's them, they couldn't. Sorry, but I can't say anything right now. Just keep your fear alive. Only then can the shadow let you survive here, even if only temporarily. This place seems to abound with mysteries. Are Sina and the others still nearby? I've lost contact with my previous companions. I'm no fighter, so whatever I do, I cannot let the monsters attack me. Oh dear, looks like troubles have found you. How should I put it? Is this a change for the better, or a deferral of doom? What do you think, friend? Despite the meticulously polished appearance, this strange fountain had an air of opulence about it. Right now, everything was gloomy, dilapidated, and lifeless. Except for the lurking monsters, it was hard to find any other signs of life. However, when the girl was there, she felt she was in a busy street on a summer night, waiting for a friend who was running late. Oh no, you're not scared silly like the others, are you? You are... How should I explain it? Some people think I'm a fraud, but that's only because they themselves are frauds. Some people think I'm crazy because they're the crazy ones. But if I were to put it in my own words, I would say I'm a businesswoman. What do you want? Do you even need to ask? Obviously, I can't be hitting on you. Playing the hero and rescuing the damsel in distress, eh? That could work too. But I can tell even at a glance at you, like me, you're not that shallow. Actually, I want to talk to you about some serious matters. Do you believe in fate? My friend, the kind that exists from the moment you're born, determines all factors of your life or your life, and won't change a bit even after your death. Tell me, do you believe in it? I have no idea who you are or what you want, but if you really have nothing else to do, oh please, do you feel that I'm discussing right now something frivolous? Look behind you. Look, right in front of your eyes. This is what I call fate. You probably have no idea why you ended up here, and yet, you're destined to die here. This disaster in front of you is called the Great Eruption. Considering the skills she possessed, it was clear that silence was not the answer she was looking for. What is it with today? Why do I keep encountering people who treat their lives so flippantly? A great opportunity has presented itself right in front of you. Opportunity. Sure, your luck isn't that great at the moment. However, you so happen to come across someone who makes a living peering into the heaven secrets and occasionally tweaking it a bit. So are you interested in letting me alter your destiny? What is she talking about? These monsters, are they afraid? It seems you're more of the nonsense type, someone with a distaste for formalities. So let me get straight to it and show you some samples. Ask him guess, though I don't know your exact preferences. But I always like places with a bit of hustle and bustle. The morning clouds did not return to the mountains, leading to days of torrential rains that flooded the land. The fox's white fur is enough to ward off the cold, but what of those without clothes? How would they endure the harsh winter? This looks exactly like what that person held earlier. Did I just have another dream? Or is this a dream within a dream? Or perhaps... It's so frustrating! Why is this place crawling with monsters without a single soul inside? That voice, Senna. All I can do is try my luck. Astral ring, right? Since you're sent by another me, then be a good sport and send me one of the astral ops. Anyone will do. Anyone? But you only have one astral op right now. Entropy, you really came. The astral ring can serve this function as well? Of course not. It's merely a coincidence. You're terribly unromantic. Finally, all cleared up. Entropy, are you alright? I'm all good. Things did get a little hairy back there, but I got lucky and was saved by a total stranger. A total stranger? Yeah, like these monsters. She was adept at moving in the shadows. She saved my life and then vanished into thin air. Sounds more like my kind. Speaking of which, you haven't come across the girl since you fell into here. No. Same here. I haven't ventured out of the monster's heap the entire time I'm here. You brought me some good luck. It seems that when we passed through the black substance, we got completely scattered. Yeah, so what exactly is that? And what's going on with us now? This place looks really eerie. So different from what I imagined. I figured there will be at least some locals hanging around. You know, lining up to greet us during some grand fanfare and Assumption's feast. And then they realize we're actually a unique species and end up worshipping us as God. Wait, don't tell me this is your hometown. No, not so. Still, this place does seem oddly familiar. It feels like I'm finally seeing those houses my grandparents used to talk about, those that had been torn down already. Something like that, I suppose. After all, I wasn't born from my mother's womb. If that's the case, as long as your intuition's right, The girl suddenly stopped in her tracks and looked around, checking for any strange sounds. As long as your intuition is right, then we're safe for the time being, right? After all, this is where your grandparents used to shack up, so there shouldn't be anything too nasty in store for us. I was being metaphorical. I'm not even sure if this is another one of my dreams, an actual quantum space, or even another world. Since I'm here, it must be some kind of reality. Otherwise, you should have seen the other version of me. Come to think of it, I really want to meet her. Hopefully, there'll be a chance in the future. Yeah, I've got plenty of questions I'd like to ask her myself. Alright, what about your communicator from earlier? Still no response? Nope. I see. Looks like that's the only way. Let's go find Hurley and Karate ourselves. When you're in an unfamiliar territory, it's always best to find your own people and stick together. Alright, if we ever cross paths with that mysterious person who saved you, we have to thank her properly. You're right. Great minds think alike. No time to waste. I scooped it out earlier. There's only one road nearby leading outside. That's the move. By the way, what about that dog? It brought us here, then vanished. After we arrived, it gave me a short glance and then took off. But judging from its behavior when it opened that rift, I say this is coming off more like we are breaking in. That's only because it made the first move. Was it the same just now? Yeah, with our bomb blood, there's always something coming our way. How about we try running this time? Good grief, what is the deal with today? It's been a good 100 years since we last had a visit from an outsider. Let me think. Is it a change for the better, or a deferral of doom? It's her. What, you know her? Wait, is she the one who saved you before? Yeah, these monsters are probably small potatoes for her. The savior of yours seems to be stepping back. And getting farther away. Maybe it's a special battle tactic? Hey, stop standing there! If we don't run now, it'll be too late. Stay close to me. Stay close. Today's a special day, and these creatures are more troublesome than usual. Don't let them catch up. Shouldn't you be able to wipe them all out with a flick of your wrist? It was a long time ago. Do you normally have a tendency for daydreaming? Well, if we limit it to today, I really can't argue with that. Alright, we're safe here. You run all the way without breaking a sweat. Your stamina is admirable. The roads at Langqiu are getting tougher to walk. Even I have a hard time. Fortune favors me. Just let me catch my breath. Okay, you do that. But who exactly are you? It appears as if you're still clueless. Right, I don't have the time to introduce myself earlier. People call me Song-Qu. I live nearby on Amber Street. Could you say something? You're starting to weird me out. Don't overthink it. I wonder what happened to her today. Seeing people in dreams before actually meeting them. When she saw me, she said the same thing. Entropy recounted the past events that had transpired. The morning clouds did not return to the mountains, leading to the days of torrential rain that flooded the land. The white fox first enough to ward off the cold, but what of those without clothes? How would they endure the harsh winter? The world is truly marvelous. It's a line I found in an ancient book over 100 years ago, but I haven't mentioned it after stopping interacting with outsiders. But compared with the issue of time, one of you say you have spun out from a rock not long ago, the others say they had a dream where she followed a dog from a bustling city to here. I must say, you two are quite special. Not important, we have always embraced chaos. Even yesterday we were chasing. Wait a minute, this dog you mentioned, how did it look? Did it have two tails? Now that you mention it, it did actually. Why do you ask? Well, but no one could have touched that thing. Even if Duonigui wanted to, it wouldn't be possible. Duonigui? It's nothing, we did lose a pet around here. But whenever it manifests itself in front of people, it always appears unusual. It's not the same as you've seen, I guess. That's rather suspicious. We do have some secrets around here. So what's your plan now? Are you still going to look for your missing friends? Of course, since you're local, maybe you can help us out. We have someone who acquired godly power from a dream, someone who came from nowhere but fights really well, someone with strange ears who's knowledgeable in strange fields, and even extraterrestrial who are very active. You're pretty lucky to make our acquaintance. Ensuring their safety is indeed the top priority. However, after that, if everything goes smoothly, I want to return to Oxia as soon as possible. According to the holo projection from the sea of data, I'm considered missing over there. I'm sure everyone's worried. Helping you find your friend is doable, but helping you get back will be a bit tricky. I don't mean to scare you, but no one has ever been able to leave this place or enter on their own. Well, you've seen how adventurous I am. Why would I stay here for 100 years? There's nothing special here. No one could enter, but why would we end up here? Your arrival is indeed unexpected, but if we were to explain what makes it so unexpected, it would take quite some time. In any case, the existence of this place is meant to keep certain things from getting out and prevent certain things from getting in. I mean those dark shadows you've been encountering repeatedly. Why they were shadows and what they came for. That is a long story. We better find a safe place before discussing in detail. You see, this place is quite desolate. As the saying goes, spending time sharpening the axe will save time chopping the wood. Back to Amber Street, I'll make sure to inquire the whereabouts of your friends. Amber Street, probably the only place around here with a pause. It makes sense to start by asking around in crowded places. Seems like we reached an agreement. By the way, I'm Sanadina, but you can call me Sana. Got it. What about you, my friend? Just call me Entropy. Delighted to make your acquaintance. Don't be so polite. I'm actually looking forward to meeting more outsiders. She casually squatted down, staring inquisitively at a dark shadow. Langqiu has always been so dull. The only thing we have out of ordinary are these inexplicable shadows. Then again, from another perspective, maybe they are actually Langqiu itself. Langqiu? Shadows. Does that mean? Don't overthink it. If you're really curious, I'll take you on a little detour. Despite their complicated origins, they're relatively simple in other ways. Let's keep going. The girl tried to stand up, but instead swayed precariously. What is that? I'm sorry, my legs fell asleep. Can you help me up? How strange. Am I getting old? We all must try our best to age gracefully. Don't think it's quite the time for all that yet. Speaking of which, it might be hard to believe, but before the Great Eruption, Langqiu was one of the biggest cities in the world. Now Amber Street is all that remains, and is the only place worth mentioning. Are these shadows a result of the Great Eruption? It's not quite that simple. In a way, it's actually the other way around. Look, can you see that? Its full name is 7 Poles of Transfixing Shadows. Basically, they're just a bunch of good old nails. People just call them 7 nails for short. Nails? Are they really used to pinning shadows to the ground? You could say that, but more importantly, we harness the power of the shadows to pin down the entire world. Do you remember the Great Eruption I mentioned that happened over 100 years ago? In the simplest terms, the whole world we knew became bubbles and shadows of its former self overnight. That means some places had more bubbles, whereas some places more shadows. We can guess where I'm going with. That's right. Since we have more shadows here than anywhere else, we have to make good use of them and protect the familiar way of life. In other words, defying fate and changing destiny. So what's the deal with this place exactly? Didn't I cover that? The Great Eruption was going to destroy the entire world, but the Langqiu people refused to accept that, so we used the power of the shadows to defy fate. But we still don't understand what this bubble universe is all about. Wait, we are actually in a bubble universe, right? I see. Are you a student? Although we've been trapped for over 100 years, we still have memories of what the world used to be like. There used to be people called students. They would go to a place called school every day, so various kinds of teachers could answer their questions. Those people were relentless. Like, why a year has 18 months? Why a month has 37 days? How come there is a month with 38 days? And the list goes on. Now that you mention it, Entropy does seem to enjoy asking questions. So Professor Songque, can you explain to us what you really mean when you talk about defying fate and changing destiny? The Great Eruption, which is a cataclysmic event that would illuminate everything in the world. Luckily, the shadows here are particularly skilled at creating something out of nothing. It's not technically accurate, but you don't look like you know the relationship between shadows and vessels. Well, as the saying goes, seeing is believing. Help! I don't want to die! What on earth is this? Dream of loss. Not many people know that name nowadays. Or perhaps you could think of it as the shadow sensing my fear. Don't worry, the way I acted earlier won't attract too many enemies. Besides, in Langqiu, everything is about equivalent exchange. Once we eliminate these monsters, I'll make it worth your while. Well done! Here, Entropy, let me borrow this thing you found from who knows where. All the shadows in the great Langqiu, heed my command. How about it? Do you feel a little stronger? Should I say yes or no? There must be some improvement. Everything in Langqiu is closely tied to these shadows. It's a bit complicated to explain in detail. As the saying goes, better late than never. Today happens to be the day of the fair gathering. Fair gathering? Fair catering? It's fair gathering. Although I can understand why you misheard it. As I mentioned earlier, in Langqiu, you can't beat an equivalent exchange, and fair gathering is the way we do business with these shadows. Can shadows actually communicate like people? As I said before, seeing is believing, so stop guessing. However, if you want to do as the Langqiuers do, I won't hold back. They say bigger is always better. Friends, the more the merrier. Is it really how those sayings go? Excuse me, but my master is always rattling them off regardless. What I was going to say was, thanks to these nails, Langqiu is still intact today and hasn't been turned into an undersea ruin, so regular maintenance is crucial. Are you referring to the sea of data? As the name 7 poles of the transfixing shadow suggests, there are a total of 7 nails. For over 100 years, we've been inspecting them on a daily basis. When we find one that needs maintenance, we summon the artifacts to help. Whether it's a coincidence, you who just arrived happened to pick up something immensely valuable. It's the treasure I borrowed from you earlier. Long time no see, old friends. This time you'll be with new companions. Is it a valuable thing? Not really. Rather than calling it an artifact, it's more like an exoskeleton. As my companion, it helped us take care of this world decades ago, which depleted its energy. So I buried it in the shadows, hoping that one day it would resurrect and work with us again. Should we return it to you then? It was an important companion to you, wasn't it? No, it is important, but I've seen hundreds of others like it. For all these years, I've simply been using whichever one works best. I just don't happen to have one with me right now. But since fate has bestowed it upon you, Langqiu has 2 guardians now. This is a magnificent opportunity, so don't be modest. All this talk is just to convince us to run errands for you. Don't say that. You will be rewarded for your effort. In Langqiu, we believe in equivalent exchange. Here, let me make a list of rewards for you to have a look at.